And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at Wave 1 of the Star Trek Attack Wing ships. Now when the Star Trek Attack Wing was released last month, it was released as Wave 0. You could buy the base set and then 8 other ships that you could buy. There was 4 factions, the Federation, the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Cardassians. There were 4 different factions that you could use, and each faction had 2 ships. Plus, in the base set, you got 1 Federation, 1 Romulan, and 1 Klingon ship. So there are 3 for each of those factions and 2 for the Cardassians. For Wave 1, which is releasing in October 2013, there are 4 ships, 1 for each faction. So we'll be taking a look at those ships right now. The ships come in blister packs, so you buy them singly, and each one also comes with a pile of things. Let's get to the ships. Alright, so let's take a look at these 4 different ships. You can see here basically is the contents of each pack laid out here. This is the Cardassian, the Klingon, the Romulan, and the Federation. Each of these packs comes with essentially the same amount of stuff, except there's actually a lot less Romulan stuff, and there's a little bit more Federation and Klingon stuff, I think, than the other 2. It's a toss-up, but you're going to buy them based on the faction that they are. So here's the ships. This ship here, of course, one of the USS Defiant. This is a ship that a lot of people want. I'm going to mention here that a lot of people complain about the paint jobs on these ships. For me, I think they're pretty good. I can't paint at all, so I'm pretty happy with this. It looks pretty cool to me, but then again, I'm not nearly as picky as some other folks are, I suppose. This here is the Romulan ship. This is the Praetus, and then over here, I really like this model. This is one of my favorite Klingon ships, the Kronos 1, the IKS Kronos 1. I just think it looks really cool, and while I don't think I would often get duplicates of ships, this is one that I don't think I would mind having 2 of. Okay, well then there's this one too. This here is the 5th Wing Patrol ship from the Cardassians. I think these all look pretty cool. And so each of these ships, if you look at the maneuvers on them, this is the maneuvers here of this Defiant class ship. You'll notice that the only red maneuver is a U-turn. Everything else is white or green. At the same time, it's not that fast, but they're very maneuverable. They make turns fairly easy, and they're very similar. If you look here at the Romulan Bird of Prey class, it's the exact same maneuverability. And then if we go over here, the Klingon ship has a few red turns. Those turns are harder, but then when we come back to the Cardassian, it's the same thing. So all of them are essentially the same with their maneuverability. However, they're very different in how good they are at attacking and such. Like, for example, the 5th Wing Patrol ship here, which I mean has good shields, good structure, good maneuvering and weapons, and can carry several things. And when you attack, you can decide to take an extra attack die and give up a defense die. So that's pretty cool. It's a 22 points worth. 2 points more is the Klingon ship here, where any ship that attacks you at range 3 rolls 1 less attack die, and this has 4 attack. I really enjoy this one. You stay at a far range if possible and shoot at the other ships. It's a pretty cool idea. Then moving on here to the Praetus, which is the weakest of the 4 ships, I think, because this one's only 14 points. You can see that there's no shields, but it does have a cool action that you can take. And then, oh, everyone says, forget that, show us the Defiant. All right, well, here's the Defiant. And the Defiant here has good things, but I really like its defensive special ability where you can convert your opponent's critical hits into regular hits. That's a nice thing. Let's look at some of the other cards that come in the sets. First, we have the regular versions, Federation, Starship, Romulan, Klingon, and Dominion Starship. And these are essentially just generic versions of the bigger ones. Then for the Federation, Benjamin Sisko, one of the greatest captains of Star Trek history. I mean, he's not that great in its ability, but the fact that once per round he can reroll his dice, he comes with a token. There are several characters in these expansions who come with their own tokens, so that you flip these tokens when you've done it. But that's a really great ability. Once per round, being able to reroll your dice is fantastic. I like that a lot. And Worf, yay, Worf. We always like Worf. He can make someone roll 2 less attack dice. Miles O'Brien, Dax, and then your stupid generic Federation captain. Ha ha ha. Then we got photon torpedoes and quantum torpedoes. And again, I like that sort of thing because it allows me to basically arm my ship the way I want it to. But they also have these attack patterns, Omega and attack pattern Delta. I like the attack pattern Delta. You can disable this card to re-roll your entire defense roll. So that's a nice thing to be able to have, you know, for that emergency thing, an attack pattern Delta. And then a cloaking device. This is the first Federation ship here. We can cloak. Notice it costs an extra 5 to put on any other ship other than the Defiant, but that's still pretty neat. You can cloak the Defiant, which is very thematic and cool. With the Romulans, you have Valdor. I like him. If your ship is not in the target ship's forward firing arc, you add +1 attack die. So if you can come up from behind somebody, you get that extra attack die. That's cool. I like using him quite often rather than this boring Romulan. Also cloaked mines and nuclear missiles and polarized hull plating. Then Chang, one of my favorite Klingons. Or maybe it's the actor who plays him, but that's not the point. He's cool. You can use his target lock to disable the captain card in a ship that was target locked. Yes! Take Kirk out. So annoying. Okay, I like Kirk, but I don't like his card in this game because I usually don't play Federation. So Chang is my new weapon against Federation. And then we got some more Klingons in here, including your boring Klingon. Once More Into the Breach is a cool card. Photon torpedoes again, and concussive charges. Moving on to the Dominion. Wayon, you can keep him, you can disable him to stop someone from disabling one of your upgrades, which is cool. But the Dominion is all about annoying your opponent. This guy here, you can discard him to get rid of an upgrade of your choice on a target ship. That's really cool. At the same time, this guy can do pretty much the same thing. This guy here, when you attack with your weapon, you can convert one result into a hit. So that's neat. And what I really like about this one, suicide attack. You can take one of your ships out just to blow up an enemy ship. Well, you roll 8 dice, but there's a really good chance that that will happen. I know, I don't know what it is. I just like the Dominion. They're one of my favorite factions in this game. And a phase, Polaron Beam. And then there's also several missions that come with this. The first battle of Chintoka and protect the Alpha Quadrant. There's one that comes with each of the things. And then a bunch of tokens that are used for various cards in these expansions. So that's it. I mean, a pretty cool expansion. I mean, I'm really pumped to see the Defiant, and I'm really pumped to see more ships. At this point, we're seeing how Star Trek Attack Wing is taking form here. A lot of people compare it to Star Wars. I mean, X-Wing, Star Wars X-Wing miniatures, and they're very similar in many ways, although they're very different other ways. But one of the big ways that they're different now is, in Star Wars, I feel the urge to buy lots and lots of these ships. But with Star Trek, you can see that every month almost, or every other month, we're going to see another wave release of different ships. So with Star Trek, I'll have a whole pile of different ships. So I might attack you with, right now I can have 4 Federation ships, the 2 Enterprises, the Defiant, and one, I forget the other one, and I have these 4 Federation ships, 4 different ones. And that gives a very different feel than coming in with a squadron of TIE fighters. And I think that's neat, and I think as time goes by, we're going to see some cool combinations, because you go up against someone and see what different ships they have, almost giving it kind of like a HeroScape feel, or I'm sorry, HeroClix feel, but which WizKids is also the publisher of, so that makes sense, in a star battle. So these are cool. They add more options. I like the more cards that they add, but the ships are neat, and I think we'll see some pretty cool battles now between the different factions.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door, Tom!
There.